the Civil Rights Bill is the reason why our parents got to come over here.
Boom.
1964, Lyndon Baines Johnson had to sign that civil rights. But you know, Martin Luther King is sitting right next to him.
Exactly.
So that is the reason why Koreans can come here.
Yep.
Koreans, Indians, Arabs, Nigerians. It's because of the Civil Rights Bill. Right. It's because of African Americans, foundational background, coming in here, busting their ass, being treated like.
I find it funny how there are people out there that will tell Black Americans what their history is. And right now, in the middle of Black History Month, we have a contender for one of the most egregious, but luckily, we have Godfrey here to correct the record on FBA and ADOS history, the Negro American history. We need to get some things straight.
Yeah. My father refused, like we would have been eligible for welfare.
My parents didn't play that shit.
My dad was irritated by the idea. It was like, why would I, like, I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
I don't need anybody to.
And you can see the path that this host, Akbar, who's also Nigerian, he's going for the trope of the Black experience being tied somehow to welfare, which nothing could be further from the truth. And it's interesting. Godfrey has to correct him on several things.
But it wasn't a sense like I'm better than. It was just this mentality of we have the ability to do it, so why not just go out and do it?
And Nigerians' vision of America was like, yo,
right,
if I get over there, are you kidding? Like, all like immigrants were like, America. Look at Ellis Island with the Italians and the Polish, and they were like, we here, bro. We're about to what? Yeah. It was just, that was America, because America pumped itself up like this place of opportunity and freedom. And I think also, and just being like African Americans being, it's part of my culture. I don't care what anybody says. My friends, a lot of my friends are African American playing football. Southern, they're my boys. It's like, nah, you know. And you study American history, and you really study how African Americans have suffered. You go, you know how many African Americans are hardworking?
Yep.
All about education. Yep. So what are you going to say? W.E.B. Du Bois, who was the first to get a PhD at Harvard, he wasn't working hard?
Right.
I'm talking about in the early 1900s when they didn't let us have shit.
Right.
How did he get a PhD at that time? You're talking about Lewis Latimer, who invented the filament for the light bulb. That's the reason why Edison, when they were trying to invent the light bulb, it was all kerosene. So it was exploding. I read the whole book. I read Edison's biography. It was all exploding everywhere. And Lewis Latimer, black dude, apprentice, that filament that you see in the light bulb is a black man that made it.
An invention of a black
Because every February
American.
was Lewis Latimer.
Right.
But he was the one that created it. When it was, we appreciate
that.
We appreciate it, but African Americans have always been hardworking.
But no, African Americans have been hardworking, but I don't know.
Low key, the hardest working, because we've had to work for free for such a very, very long time. Let us not forget that. Let us not forget that. Oh, we never going to let you forget it, obviously. It should be a mantra that we repeat constantly. It's not to make you feel guilty. It's just to keep score, to actually understand context of how we get to this position here.
African Americans have always been hardworking.
But no, African Americans have been hardworking, but I don't know.
But opportunity-wise,
what about the appreciation of the hard work for the immigrants who came to this country and worked hard?
But here's the thing is.
What? The appreciation for the immigrants who came to this country that work hard. I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless. That the appreciation of Black American contributions. Now, this came out a while ago. It didn't come out during Black History Month, but this clip is going viral again. He wants us to show appreciation for people who came here after the fact, after the hard work was put in for hundreds of years. And now we're supposed to show them appreciation. Mind you, this is a people who we've accepted in for a vast majority of our history here. Every time somebody Every time somebody left their shores, they were welcomed here with welcome arms in the black community. I mean, from Nigerian to Asian to any in between, Hispanic even too. But somehow we're not showing appreciation. I wonder why now. I think it has a lot to do with things that have happened in the past few years, people getting butthurt about delineation. Delineation, a very simple concept, a concept that every other group participates in. But once Black Americans, FBAs, ADOS people, the descendants of slavery, once they are becoming conscious of what they are outside of Africanness, it's a problem. And we are not showing appreciation. That's crazy.
The thing is the Civil Rights Bill is the reason why our parents got to come over here.
Boom.
1964, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was one of the most racist son of a bitches on the planet, had to sign that civil rights. But you know, Martin Luther King is sitting right next to him.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is the reason why Koreans can come here.
Yep.
Koreans, Indians, Arabs, Nigerians. It's because of the Civil Rights Bill. Right. It's because of African Americans, foundational background, coming in here, busting their ass, being treated like, being hung, lynched, Jim Crow.
Segregated.
From slavery was Jim Crow, segregation, Reconstruction, being promised that they were going to get this, fighting every war. They've been, black people fought in every single war. And still being disrespected, not being able to buy homes. Right. You understand? Burning up black towns. And people go, well, why ain't they? They saw opportunities. There were black Wall Streets. There were black banks, black hospitals, and they came and burned it.
Black excellence. Black excellence.
They came and burned it because a white woman said somebody raped them, and they never did because a white woman lied. So this whole myth of African Americans not seeing opportunity, they did see opportunity, but you imagine, just like colonization in Africa, but imagine everywhere you go, someone is running you out of town. Someone's trying to kill your son from going to school. So African Americans see opportunities, but the way the ghettos, first of all, you know where the word ghetto comes from, right? It's an Italian word. Okay. And there was the island of Ghetto in Venice where they kept Jewish people. That's where ghetto comes from. They kept Jews on the island of Ghetto in Venice, kept them there like a ghetto. And then it transferred over to America because everybody was in the ghettos.
You see this right now? This is teaching that needs to happen in other communities. Because Black Americans are tired of having these conversations. They end up in petty battles online. They end up in 5 or 6 hour live streams where there's nothing being accomplished. We need people like Godfrey here to actually talk to his brethren who are coming with ignorance. Because how can we have a conversation with someone if they don't know the basis of history? They don't know facts. They're literally coming here and preaching without knowledge of what actually has happened before. It's ignorance. It really is ignorance. Now, I'm not saying this guy isn't the most egregious version of that, but I think Godfrey's response is making the situation what it needs to be. Is the reason this video went viral, really. Because this conversation needed to happen a long time ago. Instead of late arrival immigrants, and I'm talking about all groups, telling their family members and their children how bad Black people in America are, there needs to be more conversations like this so that there's context. Because I'm telling you, we don't have time to argue about basic stuff with someone who is also benefiting off the fact that they share the same hue as us. You understand what I'm saying? All the programs, all the scholarships, everything that could possibly benefit you, you're gaining because of the sacrifices of my ancestors. So I just would say a little respect is needed, especially and a little humility to know that you just don't know everything, you know? And stop trying to preach that you coming from Africa and somehow you people don't know who you are. We know who we are. We definitely know who we are. Anyway, don't get me to preaching.
They kept Jews on the island of Ghetto in Venice, kept them there like a ghetto, and then it transferred over to America because everybody was in the ghettos at one time.
Right.
Italians, Irish, and every black person wasn't a slave. There were black people that were here in America already. They're already here. They were not. I know some black people that are like, I'm not a descendant of slaves. We were already here. You know that black people were already here. Black people are already.
A lot of black people were also reclassified from Native American. You understand what I'm saying? It's funny how everybody understands all over the world that the original people that usually inhabit a continent or area kind of look like they're black people. You think about the Aborigines, you think about the Negritos, or, you know, in Asia, you know, some of the original people of this earth are black people. So why is it so hard to understand? Even in South America, there's some very old groups of people that are also black. Why is it so hard to believe here? Because they told you that all the black people that were here were brought over on ships. And that's not statistically possible. It's not even questioned at this point because of all the remains of ships that would have to have been found after these people were brought here. Yeah, we got to straighten this all out.
Traveled it. Yeah. Like in this, what?
Yeah.
All over the world. We were already, our black presence is everywhere.
Yeah.
Mexico, go to Mexico. You see black, Oaxaca, Mexico.
Right.
200,000 Africans, there's black Mexicans in Oaxaca. There's Oaxaca restaurants in LA. Oaxaca, Mexico, black Mexicans.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And Mexicans actually helped slaves, black slaves back in the day, in the 1800s. They helped slaves. That's why when you see Mexicans and blacks clash and go, you don't know your history. They don't know the history.
And if you remove
You
the history
mayate, what? You know the history of us? You helped black slaves back in the day, but they make sure they shut all that shit down so they don't. So this doesn't happen.
keep all that fighting.
If this happens, game over.
So anyway, that was great. Shout out to Godfrey for actually checking something when ignorance is spoken. Yeah, it shouldn't be our responsibility to have to fight against what we fight against on a regular basis. Like we spend so much time correcting other black people that it's hard to even deal with bigger issues because of the hurdle. Like this whole time that we've said, look, we are something unique to this country and we are descendants of slavery. Since we have said that, it's been very hard for us to have conversation when all the air is being taken up in the room with arguing. It almost seems like a strategy at this point, a strategy to stop progress from happening. We talked about the idea of reparations, and other black people from around the world that are in America, other immigrants, they understand that. But for some reason, they still want to argue these weak points. And we've been having so many little flare-ups here, you know, people like Deontay Kyle or Conscious Lee, or, you know, some of these folks that are just around the issue and also associated with maybe the Democrat Party or some other socialist movements. They have become impediments to something that's very much common sense, something that's very simple. You know, if everybody else in the world can delineate, why can't black Americans? Why can't we put a title on what we are? Why is that so controversial? Well, anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. Make sure you sign up to the Patreon. The link is in the description for more unfiltered content. This is Faucette Media.